Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, and today I want to teach you guys 3 of my personal favorite fieldwork techniques. Alright, so for the first one, it obviously doesn't have to look like this, but a net is one of my favorite ways to do fieldwork, especially because you can record yourself. So we'll head in here and I'll teach you guys some of the stuff that I do. Alright, so if you guys don't have one of these in your area, which is just for baseball practice, you can buy a net that's for disc golf, or you can use, I've used soccer nets before, but what I like to do is I like to set up a recording of myself, and I'll take a putter, a mid-range, and a distance driver, and I'll just set up the video camera and I'll just throw into it, and that way you don't got to go searching for your discs in the field. If you're short on time, it works perfectly fine. So here's some of just me throwing. Alright, so here are a few things that I like to do when I'm throwing into a net. One of the things that I like to do is I like to focus on something like that's on the net, or even just if it's one of these or a couple, I like to focus on that and see how close I can get. I believe that definitely improves your accuracy. So like in this instance, I'll focus on the pole and I'll try to hit that, or at least get close to it. So I got really close to it, so that kind of tells me that I'm building my accuracy, and it also tells me when I'm messing up. So like for instance, if I'm shooting way above it, maybe that tells me that I'm a little bit releasing on a nose angle and it's going like this, or if it's too low, maybe that means I'm throwing too nose down. When in a field, you might not be able to kind of get that. So, like for example, if I'm shooting way up here, that tells me I'm releasing way nose up, and I can use a video. So I guess that's the second thing. If you video yourself, you'll be able to see if you're shooting nose up or if you're shooting nose down. So that's a good way to throw into the net. Another thing I really like about the nets is I feel like I'm able to focus more on my feet and more on the timing of my release. You know, you can video yourself not in the net or by a net. Like in the field, it works just the same, but I would say as a major tip to improve yourself is definitely videoing yourself. It helps so much. There are so many things about my form that I would have never ever realized was wrong if it wasn't for a video. So definitely that should be one of the first things that you do 100%. I'll say that every single time I ever give tips on improving yourself. Also, I'll be making future videos that go over all the mechanics that you guys need to know to be able to actually video yourself and know what you're looking for. Like for example, I will be going over your legs, how to do the cross step, stand still forms, all that good stuff. Also like the release, the timing of the release, what you do with your off arm. I could go on and on, but if you guys want to become better disc golfers and you like my channel, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to also reach out and you have any questions, I reply to every single comment, every single DM. Alright, so moving on to my second favorite fieldwork drill. So I pretty much, how this goes, I have my bag back there. You can use a basket, it doesn't really matter, just something preferably in the middle of the field, wherever you're at. And then what I like to do is I'll take my putters, my mid-ranges, my fairways, and distance drivers, and I'll go back, and I'll show you guys in a minute, but I'll pretty much place them kind of where I think that it's a good distance for me to get to my bag or the basket, and it kind of improves my accuracy. So I'll show you guys kind of what I do. All right, so these are my forehand approach shot discs, and I place them at a comfortable distance for me, and pretty much I just imagine that that's the basket, and I try to get it as close as possible, and it helps a lot. Right, do another one, do a standstill. That was good. Now I'll move back to my putters. All right, so now I'm back a little bit farther with my backhand approach discs. I got 2 of them here, so I'm gonna try to get them as close to the bag as possible. Right. That was a little deep. You can practice standstills, run-ups, whatever you want. That was pretty much right on target, a little deep. Now I'm gonna go to like my mid-ranges. All right, so now you would go back a little bit farther to whatever you're comfortable at, like while throwing a mid-range. So I'm gonna try to get it as close to the bag as possible. I'll do my complete run-up for a mid. Probably like edge of circle. That almost hit the bag. All right, so now I'm back here with my fairway drivers, a little bit farther back this time. So let's see how close we can get them to the basket, or I guess the bag. All right, so now what I'll do is I'll go all the way back to what I think, maybe not my max distance, but a distance that I'm comfortable throwing like a distance driver. And I'll see how close I can get. And this helps with accuracy more than you know. So that kind of tells me, you know, how comfortable I am with each disc instead of having to go to a course and find like the perfect basket. All right, so if you guys haven't tried this yet, I really highly suggest to try it. It's one of my favorites, and it's helped me improve my game so much as far as accuracy goes, and just actually also learning my discs and learning what's in my bag. It's great. And after you're done, you can kind of go back to your bag and see how close you actually got. So, you know, you can see where your distance drivers went. Some of my mid-ranges landed right next to it, but you know, I call it the basket, but you know, you can put a basket out there if you want to, like I said. But anyways, let's move on to the third thing. Okay, so for the third and final fieldwork drill, we have a baseball field. So what you're gonna do, I want you guys to imagine you're on the course and you have to throw over trees. So imagine that fence being the top of some maple trees, right? And what you want to do is take putters, whatever you're comfortable with throwing for your approach shots, and then I have back farther mid-ranges, then fairway drivers, and then distance drivers. And just like the last field drill, we're gonna be doing that, the same thing, but like I said, we're throwing over something. So why I do this is when you're in the field and you're trying to throw hyzers, there's nothing to visually look at. So when you want to practice throwing over things, I think this is perfect to have a visual, so it forces you to throw over it, because if not, well, you land in the dirt. So if you guys have baseball fields in your area, I highly recommend going to one, and if it's got some room behind the fence, definitely do this drill. It's very, very helpful. Most should have baseball fields near them. If not, you can use a building. If you actually can find trees, that would be perfect. But here's some of me throwing. I'm gonna start off with my throwing putters. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 hyzer backhand shots. Just made it over the fence. This forces you to throw a perfect hyzer, and if it's not perfect, well, you just hit the fence, so it's perfect. Alright, here's some of my mid-ranges. I got the MD3 from Discmania and the Halloween Buzz from Discraft. Right over the fence, a little close on that. It's good too. Alright, so I got some of my fairway drivers. So yeah, it's perfect. Perfect, and it helps with your accuracy a lot. You might hit the fence at first a few times, but the more you do it, the better you'll be. Alright, here's some of my distance drivers. Alright, so far we've made every single one over the fence. This is pretty far back too. I'd say probably around 380 feet. So that's a good example of when one does not make it over the fence. I love it when that happens because I go back, get the disc, and I try it again until I make it over. Last one. And that is way over. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got some useful information, and I hope you guys hit the field. It's very important. Subscribe if you want to see more of this content. I'm going to be doing future videos where I go into depth with form and just the mechanics of disc golf. So, hope you guys have a good day. See you later.